Hello, and welcome to 20 Lore Pro, a community of Lorcana players who enjoy deck building, competing, and opening Lorcana product. You can find out more at our Discord community, 20lorepro/Discord, link in the description, where we have tons of upcoming events, deck lists, and deck discussions, like in today's video, where we streamed Clockwork Games' 5-round Swiss 1K Lorcana tournament, which featured over 30 players competing for the grand prize. In this video, we'll be watching round 4, Capu, piloting Ruby Amethyst, versus Jonathan, piloting Ruby Amber Mufasa. Wish our competitors luck, and enjoy the video. Hello and welcome to 20 Lore Pro. Today we are joined in College Station at the home of A&M at Clockwork Games, who's hosting a 1K Lorcana tournament. We want to thank them for hosting this tournament and you, the viewers, for joining us today. If you'd like to learn more about 20 Lore Pro, join us over on Discord, where we have tons of deck lists, deck discussions, and YouTube videos over the latest decks. Thank you again for joining us. I'll be your host, SirAshtown. Our producers in the background are Luxac, and as many of you may know, Stunning Rob from the 20 Lore Pro Discord. We want to thank y'all again as we enter into round 4 of 5. As we enter into round 4, it looks like it'll be Capu versus Maximus playing Ruby Amethyst versus Amber Ruby. I'm sorry, Jonathan. As these two players get to shuffling up, just want to remind everyone, if you have a Twitch Prime through Amazon, feel free to use it. It allows us to be able to go and travel the state of Texas and beyond to Lorcana tournaments to do coverage like this. More in the future. Sorry for that delay. I wanted to make sure that I was pronouncing Capu's name correctly. Some of you may know, as Autumn Falcon pointed out, that this is Albert on the left, playing Jonathan. We want to thank our competitors today, Capu and Jonathan, for joining us in round 4, and you, the viewer, for joining us. As we're looking against Amber Ruby, it really makes me wonder if they're playing Mufasa. If you're familiar with the Amber Ruby Mufasa deck, over on the 20 Lore Pro YouTube, we currently have a deck discussion up with the creator, BDecandio7, of this deck. It may not be his Mufasa list that Jonathan's playing, but you can go over to YouTube and watch that video and find out more about that deck. Be excited to see if that's the deck that Jonathan's playing today. Mufasa just being a call to Magic the Gathering many players may know, Aetherworks Marvel. A card that looked at the top 6 and then you get to reveal a character and put it into play. Mufasa, very similar to that, looking at the top card of your deck and you get to play that character for free. Mufasa up there on the board for you to see. Again, this is round 4 of 5 with a cut to top 8. We'll do as much coverage as we can of the tournament, but as many of you may know, many competitors like to cut when they get to the top 8 or the top 4. Capu playing Amethyst Ruby, maybe playing the bounce version or the mid-range version with Arthur. We'll have to see. Again, we want to thank Clockwork Games for hosting today's 1K Lorcana tournament that had over 32 players sign up. I'm your announcer, SirAshtown, and here we go into game 1 of round 4. Capu inking a late game Maleficent in favor of playing a turn 1 Minnie Mouse. This turn 1 Minnie Mouse just gives an opportunity for Teeth and Ambition to really come behind and clean up whatever may be available while still leaving your Minnie Mouse alive. I don't want to call it yet, but it really looks like Jonathan's playing this Mufasa deck list that we have a deck list over on the YouTube channel with this, I don't quite know her name, but the mother from Tangled. The evil villainess, when she enters the battlefield, as she deserves, has 3 damage on her. Capu having his second Minnie Mouse on board. There we go, Mother Gothel. Such a strong character, though, if you're able to heal it with a Rapunzel. Jonathan playing a mini Surfer turn 4 into the Hades to bring back that Mother Gothel from the discard pile. Thank you so much, 666, for the Mother Gothel reminder. It's hard to remember all these cards. Thankfully, I can remember most of the movies that they're from. Capu really trying to decide how he wants to use his turn 4. Really vital and pivotal point in the game. Decides to lure and save his ink and pass. See what Jonathan's trying to develop. And it is indeed Mufasa. B. DeCandio first made this list on the 20 Lore Pro Discord. He posted it before anyone had a list like it up. If you'd like to learn more about this deck list, you can watch the Mufasa Flips Big YouTube video on the 20 Lore Pro YouTube page. His deck list being called Mufasa, Mufasa, Mufasa. Capu playing Spellbook. Looks like he's playing the Ruby Amethyst Spellbook list. Spellbook just being able to really late game gain you lore that your opponent can't often take care of. Really looking forward to what Jonathan can flip off of this Mufasa if it ends up leaving the board. Choosing to lore up, Jonathan's at 10. Capu has his little Cusco on the board. As Cusco might say, his beginning days before he had his glow up. We see a Mufasa with Hades. Jonathan inking a Maui, using all of his ink. Decides to challenge first. And then plays a Lady Tremaine. Good call by Jonathan. If he would have Tremained first, it would have given Capu the opportunity to sacrifice the Maui instead of the Minnie Mouse, causing Jonathan to have to lose a character. Capu with a board state that is pretty open. May have missed playing the book or using the spell book. Jonathan playing that Mother Gothel with 3 damage, automatically restoring it with a restorative power of Rapunzel to draw 3 cards. Mother Gothel, that villain, gaining the healing abilities of her daughter that she has stolen, Rapunzel. Capu playing his Ursula, trying to draw a card and just find some answers. Jonathan having a ton of ink in his inkwell. And cards in hand off of that Rapunzel. Playing a Surfer Stitch to draw 2 cards. That's something about not playing against a steel deck, is just having the ability to know that you're not going to get whole new worlded, so that way you can draw as many cards as you'd like. Surfer Stitch just being such a strong character with a 4/8 body, able to lore for 2. We see Capu playing a rabbit with a goat. Jonathan using Mother, Rapunzel, and Stitch to gain more lore, going up to 19, making this game a very, very pivotal juncture. Capu needing to find some answers. Jonathan playing Be Prepared, that way he cleans up the board, followed up by a character that can lore to give the game. There's the handshakes and the card reveals. Congratulations, Jonathan, on a Game 1 win. What a great Game 1. We got to see the Mufasa flip into Hades. We got to see some Ursulas come down on Capu's side. And really just some good Lorcana back and forth at high lore for both of these great Lorcana players. Really enjoyed watching Capu play, and Jonathan as he was playing the Mufasa deck list. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us today here at 20 Lore Pro. We're here at Clockwork Games here in College Station, home of A&M, where they are hosting a 1K Lorcana tournament with 32 players. We want to thank y'all for joining us, and feel free to go over to 20 Lore Pro to find out more about deck lists, deck discussions, and to watch our YouTube channel that has deck techs over this deck, Mufasa, and of Capu's deck, a Amethyst Ruby deck list. I'm your announcer today, SirAshtown, and in our background, our producers are Luxac, and as many of you may know, Stunning Rob from the 20 Lore Pro Discord. So excited to watch and continue to see these two players as they compete against each other in competitive Lorcana. We're going into game 2 of round 4. Always like to see the varying decks that exist currently in the Lorcana Set 2 format. We've seen some decks really come on the rise, one of them being this Amber Ruby deck, Emerald Steel being another, and we're starting to see more and more Sapphire Steel decks. Earlier we saw the mirror match, which has been so common, of Amethyst Ruby, and just glad to see here today a different matchup here for y'all on the stream to enjoy. So we're entering into game 2. Good luck to both of our competitors, and let's tune in. Capu here with the turn 1 Olaf. Again, just setting up a good ability, a good way to use Teeth and Ambition on a target, while also getting a little bit of lore. Capu using that Olaf to turn into a Madamim snake that can eat up that little Simba that Jonathan's played out. Jonathan Capu choosing to play Merlin Crab, which has been such a great enhancement card for so many challengers, giving any character +3 to challenge when it ETBs and when it leaves. Jonathan playing one of the 7 dwarves. It looks like it may be Doc, able to quest for 2 to 2/3. But honestly, in this Mufasa deck list, they play so little non-character cards. That way they have more targets for Mufasa. Jonathan questing up. Chooses to play Mufasa. If you have watched the 20 Lore Pro YouTube deck discussion over this, you may know that the deck list name Mufasa, Mufasa, Mufasa comes from the scene where the hyenas are calling out to Mufasa. Capu chooses to tap down Mufasa using Pinocchio. Challenge away, flips into a Hades yet again, getting back Mufasa. Crab may have sung something. I may have missed it. Capu playing a Maleficent. Love seeing that wheel getting Hades for Jonathan. We'll see how Capu can utilize his board state to try to get ahead, trying to gain up more lore. Love seeing these Pinocchios too. Such a fun strategy, just able to tap down one of your opponent's characters. That way you can use one of yours on the board to challenge. There's that Pinocchio on the screen for you to see. We see a Madamim snake bouncing Pinocchio being recast by Capu to tap down that Mufasa. I think Capu is trying to say that those 2 cards on the left are the ones that came into play this turn. Chooses to attack into Mufasa and flips into a Lady Tremaine. Lady Tremaine being an automatic removal of some card on the board. I think they're reading it right now, and I'm actually trying to think if it's a cast or if it's an ETB ability. Looks like it's a cast ETB ability, which would make sense.
Current round, we are.
Looks like they're counting up their inkwell. Double checking what they have. Jonathan tapping out all the way to play another Mufasa, luring up with Lady Tremaine. I believe this is the second Mufasa that we're seeing. One in the discard pile, one on board now. Jonathan playing an Ursula, taking a lore away and trying to draw a card. Ursula being so strong with just that 2/8 body, able to lore for 3, really trying to find and give you the ability to find your outs in your deck. Capu luring up, that way he can try to get ahead. That Pinocchio just being such a good target for any bounce ability, that way you can take care of any of your opponent's characters. Jonathan looking at the board straight, trying to determine if he wants to lure or challenge. That rabbit as well, giving Capu the ability to draw when it ETBs and when it leaves. Jonathan choosing to... Looks like he's still thinking. This is a tough decision. So late in the game, so much lore. It's still mid with the lore, how much they have. Trying to decide what he wants to do. Looks like he chooses to challenge, get rid of 2 of Capu's creatures, or characters, opting to put some damage on his own. Following it up by Lady Tremaine to clear up the board some without having to use a Be Prepared. Leaving Capu still with a strong 2/8 lore for 3 character. Let me correct myself. 2 of them now, with Capu playing his second Ursula, taking another lore, bringing Jonathan down to 3 and drawing Capu a card. Oh, Schmidt, I see what you were saying. You were saying 2 damage. I wasn't sure about the rabbit. Thank you for the correction over there, Cage. We appreciate that. Capu, drawing up. Playing a mini surfer. Such a strong lore character, having evasive, being able to lore for 2 every turn. Jonathan trying to find some outs. Gets back some of his stronger cards in his discard pile. Decides to get Well, I said Mufasa. He looks like he's getting back a Hades. No, he goes for the Mufasa. He wants to try the combo in the wheel again. Autumn Falcon, I was thinking the same thing. I may have quested first as well before I Be Prepared. Sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment, it's hard to stay completely focused on what changes and when to do what lines, but that's part of playing on the competitive scene, especially on camera. Sometimes it can tilt some players or put them off guard. That's just a small speculation on my side, though. Jonathan trying to determine what he wants to ink. Capu having got rid of that Hades using his Lady Tremaine. Oh, Ursula saying Be Prepared. I see. Sorry, I missed that interaction. Jonathan playing his Mufasa. We see Capu here gaining a ton of lore, going up to 19. Bouncing it back with the Lady Tremaine. Jonathan doing the same, forgetting to tap out with the Mufasa, but decides that it's so close with the spellbook being on board, he has no option but to scoop. Autumn, that's the great thing about seeing your friends play on camera. You kind of know their quirks, you know who they are, how they play. That's why we love going around Texas and to the other areas and visiting different card stores and really just covering Lorcana as people play. It's always fun to see your friends play on camera. Right now we are 1-1 in round 4. Capu using Amethyst Ruby versus Jonathan playing Amber Ruby. I'm sorry, yes, Amber Ruby. So far we've seen some great games going both ways from both of these competitors. Capu on game 2 really just outpacing Jonathan and using his resources to just flood the board and manage characters as you saw. Jonathan in game 1 just really coming out so fast and getting some good triggers for Mufasa. Really enjoy seeing this Mufasa deck list and this Ruby Amethyst story spellbook. If you'd like to learn more about either of these decks, you can head on over to 20 Lore Pro YouTube's page, where we have deck text over both of these decks. Also, if you have missed any of the rounds so far in today's Lorcana 1K here at Clockwork Games, you can head on over to YouTube later on this week, and where we'll have them posted. I want to thank everyone for joining us today here on Twitch. If you have any Amazon Prime, some Twitch Prime usage that you haven't used on any channels, feel free to follow us. We try to go around Texas and the surrounding areas to cover Lorcana tournaments. I'm your announcer today, SirAshtown, and in the background, our producers are Luxac, and as many of you may know, Stunning Rob from the 20 Lore Pro Discord. Well, let's go into game 3 of round 4. Good luck to both of these competitors who have so far played really good Lorcana. Capu starting off with Infamous Turn 1 Mini. Jonathan playing his Simba, which has a Bodyguard. Wow, Capu playing out 2 Olafs. Really coming out strong early game, trying to get these lore up. Use these characters to bounce, maybe. Excuse any noise that you may hear in the background here. Today, so many players are excited for this Lorcana tournament here at Clockwork Games. We see Jonathan playing his Minnie Mouse Surfer that has evasive, so hard to deal with. Wow, watching the Mini be damaged by the Simba, then banished by Madam Mim Fox. Such a strong rush character. This is very quick Lorcana. Seeing lots of characters get played very early on. Jonathan inking a Rapunzel, maybe signaling that he doesn't have Mother Gothel to draw. Choose to lure up with the Minnie Mouse and pass. No turn 4 play for Jonathan. Capu capitalizing on his by being able to draw with that Merlin. Jonathan casting his Mufasa, the namesake of the deck, trying to see what he can flip. With this Mufasa deck, I've seen them have 2 characters on board, have a Mufasa be banished, and flip into a Surfer Stitch. Just feels so good being able to draw so many cards. As Capu is doing right now, he's drawn many cards. He's drawn off of 2 rabbits so far, trying to find and gather more resources. That way he can have the right answers at the right time against Jonathan. It looks like Cage was right in the Twitch chat that Capu's hand has a lot of these rabbits. Jonathan playing a Goofy who we have not seen since set 1. As many of you may have seen in the past, Goofy had become a namesake for the Ruby Amethyst decks at the end of set 1. Able to quest for 2, is a 3/4 body, just a pretty overall strong card. Inkable 5-drop. Capu's got a lot of lore that he can gain on the board right now. Chooses to go ahead and gain that. There's that Goofy for you up on the board. Choose to use that Madame Mufasa and a Mufasa who flips another Hades. This is the third Hades that we've seen Mufasa flip into, allowing him to gain back Mufasa and play it again, most likely next turn. Capu tapping out. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, untapping. Playing a Merlin Goat to gain lore. I'm not sure if Capu had lured that turn with his Olaf and Rabbit. I never saw him untap them. I could be mistaken. Jonathan choosing to lure up with both of his evasive characters, going up to 13. And be prepared. I think Capu may have missed some lore triggers last turn. Okay, no, it looks like he corrected it. No, he went up with Merlin Goat. Jonathan playing a be prepared to wipe the board, make a clean slate. As I'm seeing in the Twitch chat, as Raccoon has pointed out, I believe that Capu did ink before he cast the Rabbit and Madame M Fox combo. With the Ursula on board, the evasive character mini, it looks like Jonathan decided to scoop it up, giving Capu the 2-1 game for round 4. Congratulations to Capu for winning round 4 2-1 against Jonathan. Both of these players playing some good Lorcana. Really enjoyed seeing Ruby Amethyst against Amber Ruby. I want to thank all of you today for joining us with 20 Lore Pro as we're here in College Station, home of A&M, and Clockwork Games, who's hosting a 1K Lorcana tournament. If you'd like to see more deck techs or deck reviews, head on over to 20 Lore Pro on our YouTube, or check out our Discord where we have tons of deck discussions. If you'd like to watch today's Lorcana tournament and you weren't able to make all the rounds, head on over to YouTube. Later on this week, we'll have all of these rounds posted for your viewing pleasure. I want to thank you all so much again for coming out today. We'll get ready for round 5, and then we'll see if we can get some games in the top 8. As many of you know, lots of players normally will cut depending on the prize payout, but we'll see if we can't get some games for top 8. Thank you all so much for joining, and I will see y'all here in just a little bit.